Alabama survives Bucky ball in Tuscaloosa as Alabama gets a much-needed win at home over Texas A&M, 100-97. After getting blown out by Florida and Gainesville on Sunday, Alabama gets that bounce-back win they needed. Bama is now 15-7 overall, 5-4 in the SEC. Good win for Alabama, and now Alabama needs to start stacking wins. Welcome to another episode of the Bamature Hour. I am Bama John. This is a quick reaction to Alabama's win over Texas A&M Wednesday night. Today is Thursday, February 5th, 2026 in the year of our Lord. Thank you for tuning in. We now have over 8,900 subscribers to the YouTube channel, growing, headed to 10,000 and beyond. All right, what happened in this game? In the first half, it was a track meet. It was back and forth. It was just up and down style of play, which Bucky ball forces you into that with that full court press, with the fact that they want to get the ball up and down the court quickly and get off a lot of shots. It was a fast-paced track meet style of play. Both teams combined for over 47 three-point attempts in the first half. They made 18 shots from three, and it was just a back and forth battle in the first half as as Alabama went into the half tied 46-all against Texas A&M. Alabama was able to make a three-point shot at the buzzer to tie it up at 46-all, and the first half featured 11 lead changes. Texas A&M had the lead for about 8 minutes of the first half, and they had a lead going into the final few seconds before Alabama was able to pull out that buzzer-beating three-point shot to go into the half tied at 46-all. At 46-all. In the first half, London Jemison had 10 points and shot a perfect 4 for 4 from the field. Latrell Wrightsell had 9 points, and Amari Allen had 6 points, as LeBaron Fallon was really quiet in the first half. Marcus Hill paced Texas A&M with 10 points and 4 rebounds. Jamie Vincent had 9 points, and Rashawn Agee had 8 points, and former Alabama player Rylan Griffin had 7 points for Texas A&M. Boy, we sure do miss having Rylan Griffin on the team. If we still had Rylan Griffin on the team instead of him being at Texas A&M, he was at Kansas last year, didn't work out well for him, and ended up at Texas A&M this year. If we had him back, he would certainly be in our top 8 rotation, maybe be a starter, would be a nice player to have. And also, if we had been able to hang on to Darian Reed, that would have bolstered our front court. And Darian Reed had a very nice game against Alabama and Oklahoma. Just seeing Rylan Griffin out there makes you think about if we could have retained those two guys on the roster, that really would have helped upgrade this team in areas of need, which are defense and length and size, as both of those guys would have helped bolster this roster. Okay, so second half, Alabama comes out. It's tied at 46-all. It is a back and forth game in the second half. There were 28 lead changes in the game. There were 13 ties, and Texas A&M jumped up and got up to a 77-71 lead in the second half as Alabama kind of went through a lull there and struggled, and Texas A&M was able to score, and Alabama had a scoring drought where they really were not able to score. So with 8 minutes and 44 seconds left in the game, Alabama went on a 19-6 run, punctuated by 8-0 burst. With just over a minute, as Alabama took a 90-83 lead with 4 minutes and 29 seconds left in the game. And you would think with a 7-point lead that Alabama would be able to easily salt this game away. But with that full court pressure of Bucky ball and just how aggressively they pressure the ball every inch of the court, and they are not going to back off on that. Texas A&M was able to actually go up by 1 as they went on a 10-2 run at that point and took a 93-92 lead with 2 minutes to go. And you weren't feeling very good once Alabama lost that 7-point lead and Texas A&M was able to take that lead with 2 minutes to go. But Latrell Reitzel hit a go-ahead three-pointer with 1 minute and 11 seconds left to give Alabama a 97-95 lead. Alabama is then able to stop Texas A&M from scoring. They go back down. Aiden Holloway extends the lead 99-95 with a circus layup with 22 seconds left with 22 seconds left in the game and the game clock running out. He does get fouled as well, and could have extended it to a 5-point lead, but Aiden Holloway misses the and one free throw. Unfortunately, Texas A&M goes back down to the other end, scores, and then Alabama comes down and gets fouled with a 2-point lead. Amari Allen makes 1 of 2 free throws, and then Alabama fouls. Alabama fouls as Texas A&M inbounds the ball with 3 seconds left to put Texas A&M on the line, and Rashawn Agee misses both free throws, but then in a scramble for the ball, Texas A&M's able to get the rebound, gets to Griffin, and he has a good look with basically no time left on the clock from 3, but fortunately it bounces off the rim and doesn't go down, and Alabama survives with a 100-97 win. It was a tough, hard-fought win. It was sloppy at times. Alabama had good moments. They had moments where they got bogged down in their offense. And it wasn't the prettiest of wins, but fortunately, Alabama does get the win. Aiden Holloway had 20 points, with 16 of those coming in the second half. He made 9 of 12 free throws, but he did miss that crucial one at the end of the game when he had an and one opportunity and missed it. LeBaron Philon had 17 points, with 13 of them coming in the second half. And then Rashawn Agee led Texas A&M with 21 points. As he was the leading scorer in the game, and he led Texas A&M, and Alabama really had struggled trying to stop him. As I said, Alabama survived a hectic last 2 minutes of the game. In the last 2 minutes of the game, there were turnovers, there were bad shots, there were missed free throws. As Alabama didn't execute perfectly down the stretch, or would not have been so close at the end, but they do get the win and are able to sneak out a win, and they needed that win badly. Being 5-4 in the SEC is not great, but being 4-5 would have even been worse, as Alabama is struggling to get wins in the SEC and struggling to try to get a high seed in the tournament. Right now, they're easily in the tournament, probably a 5 seed, maybe a 6 seed, but they've got to keep stacking wins. We need to get to 12, 13 wins in the SEC if possible, and certainly need to get to 11 or 12 at a minimum if we want to have good seeding in the tournament. All right, the star of the game was Aiden Holloway. He had 20 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 steal, but he also had 2 turnovers and shot only 1 for 6 from 3. Holloway did make a key 2-point shot with 22 seconds left. That was key for Alabama's win, but he did miss the free throw on the and one opportunity there, as what could have been a 4-point lead with 22 seconds. What could have been a 5-point lead, rather, with 22 seconds left, was only a 4-point lead, and then Alabama struggled to close out Texas A&M, but they do get it done. One thing I'll note about Aiden Holloway is he was forcing shots too often. A lot of his 3-point attempts were not nice, clean looks, but were forced looks. He also was forcing the ball from 2 when he should have really been sharing the ball and just keeping the offense moving. So he did get 20 points, had a good game, but it was a little bit sloppy, a little bit too much, him going 1-on-1, 1-on-2, sometimes even 1-on-3, versus trying to make a move or two. If you don't have anything, keep the ball moving in rotation, try to get Texas A&M out of position so that other players could get better shots and get good open looks. So, good game by Aiden Holloway, but definitely some things to clean up. And one of the reasons why we can't count on Holloway game in and game out are the turnovers and the fact that he forces up shots and does too much one-on-one dribbling and trying to take guys off the dribble and sometimes dribbling into a double team or even a triple team and not getting a good look at the basket. Alabama overall had 6 players score in double figures and had 8 players score at least 5 points. Alabama only played 8 players in the game. They shortened the rotation, only played 8 guys. All 8 guys scored. You had 6 players score in double figures. So besides Holloway, here are the other 5 players that scored in double figures. LeBaron Fallon had a what I'll call a solid game. He had a really good second half. He had 17 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 blocks, and he also had no turnovers as Fallon played really well in the second half, and we needed him to step up because he only had 4 points in the first half and was just not present and contributing like we would have hoped. Latrell Wrightsell had 16 points in the game, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and only 1 turnover, and hit a key 3 down the stretch to give Alabama the lead and help Alabama pull out this win in a tough, highly contested game. Amari Allen had another solid performance. He had 12 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and only 1 turnover. So glad to have him back, healthy, playing, contributing, as he was not very effective at Florida, but he was definitely, you could feel his presence out there, and he had another stat-stuffing performance. So great job, Amari Allen. Houston Millett had 12 points, all on threes. He was 4 for 4 from 3. He had 5 rebounds and 1 assist, and he put those numbers up in only 14 minutes of play. So a really solid outing from Houston Millett. He contributed, very effective. Glad to see him out there playing and contributing. Sometimes he disappears. Other times you get this type of performance, and that was the kind of performance we needed from Houston Millett. London Jemison had 10 points and 4 rebounds in only 12 minutes of play, and he had 10 big points that we needed. So a great job by him contributing, getting into double digits. And then finally, Aiden Sherrill did not hit double digits in points, but he had 8 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 blocks as he played the majority of the minutes at 5. Instead of playing 2 bigs and having Sherrill out there with Bediako, Sherrill played the 5 spot and played it as a stretch 5, but had a good game. And other than getting some foul trouble, he was very effective out there. And then Bediako played. He had 5 points, 4 rebounds, certainly was a presence out there as a rim protector, but didn't have a particularly great game. So let's talk about the MIAs. Well, nobody else besides those 8 players played in the game. So you have guys out with injuries. You have guys out like Williamson and Bethea that got no minutes and really haven't been contributing. So it was really an 8-man rotation that got Alabama through this game and got them the win. And then on the other side, key performances, Texas A&M had 3 players score in double figures, led by 21 from Rashawn Agee, 18 from Marcus Hill, and 17 from Rylan Griffin. As I had said earlier, it sure would have been nice if we could have retained Rylan Griffin and had him in that 8, 9, 10-man rotation for Alabama. His length, his size, his defensive ability, his three-point shooting really would help this Alabama team if we could have kept him. If, ands, and buts, but guy would have liked to have retained him. And also would have been nice to have Darian Reed as another power forward player that could play the 4 spot, that could score, shoot. So losing those 2 guys and not having them on the Alabama lineup certainly hurt the depth and the roster quality for Alabama, and we've seen the struggles with this. So let's look at the stats now. The Alabama bigs, and the reason I bring this up is because of what the stats show, but the Alabama bigs held their own against the A&M bigs, really other than Rashawn Agee, who Alabama really couldn't stop and was able to score and led Texas A&M as he could score in the post. He could score from 3 and really just got the Alabama bigs in foul trouble and was able to score effectively throughout the game. Other than him, The other Texas A&M bigs really didn't bother Alabama. And one of the things that Alabama did is they out-rebounded Texas A&M and also were able to get a lot of offensive rebounds in this game to generate additional possessions needed to win the game. That was big for Alabama because we didn't shoot the ball well. So getting those extra offensive possessions by hitting the boards on the offensive end and getting more looks at the basket really was a big factor in why Alabama was able to win this game. Now, Texas A&M doesn't have bigs like Florida, doesn't have bigs like Gonzaga does, like Arizona does, like Tennessee. So Alabama with our bigs, and we know that that's a deficiency for Alabama, is not having quality bigs that can score in the low post, can create their own shot, are effective at the rim, and also can hold off these teams with 2, 3, 4 high quality bigs. The way our bigs were able to play against Texas A&M, and other than dealing with Rashawn Agee, we're able to hold our own and then some against them. That was key to getting this win. Texas A&M outshot Alabama from the field and from three, as Texas A&M took better shots, didn't force as many shots, and ran their offense in a more disciplined manner. But to overcome that, Alabama out-rebounded Texas A&M 44-36, and particularly those offensive rebounds that we're able to gather as we out-rebounded Texas A&M, generated those extra possessions Alabama needed, because Alabama had to win this on volume shooting because we didn't have a great shooting night percentage-wise, and all those extra possessions that we gained from those offensive rebounds allowed us to overcome the fact that we didn't shoot the ball well. And the other thing was getting to the free throw line. Alabama was able to draw a lot of fouls and make a lot of free throws, even though we missed free throws. And it was the offensive rebounding and making the extra free throws that allowed Alabama to get over the line and beat Texas A&M in a hotly contested, tight game throughout. Alabama shot only 69% from the free throw line. We missed 10 free throws. We could have had this game more in hand had we shot more like 75 to 80% from the free throw line instead of 69, and knocked down 2, 3, 4 more of those free throw games. So Alabama survives Bucky ball. They survived the relentless pressure, and Alabama only turned the ball over 6 times in the game. Texas A&M only turned the ball over 6 times as well. So there was really no advantage gained in terms of turnovers. I will say that Texas A&M played really good defense, relentless. We held up under the pressure, which was good. So really the biggest effect of Bucky ball was that Alabama forced up too many contested threes and took some bad shots from 2, and our field goal percentage was down as we didn't work the offense as well as maybe we could have. Part of that was due to the relentless pressure that Texas A&M puts on Alabama, but part of it was just not passing the ball enough, not moving the ball enough, not working through the offense with setting screens, sharing the ball, moving the ball around, and working to get the best shot possible. But we survived and won. So really the highlights of the game, Alabama got a much needed win at home to stop the bleeding, now at 5-4. Other highlight was Alabama battled to the end and figured out the way to get a win in a game that Alabama could have lost. Make no mistake, we could have lost this game. We got the win, so it was great. In terms of issues from this game, too many bad shots, too many contested shots from 3, too many forced shots from both 2 and 3. I thought our shot selection, shot quality wasn't as high as we need it to be. If we want to try to make a run at the Final Four, if we're going to get more wins in the SEC, we've got to have better shot selection and not force up shots. We were able to draw fouls and get to the free throw line, so that was good. But I would just say poor offensive ball movement and execution at times really hurt Alabama, and those were some issues. Also, on the defensive side, in the half court, Alabama got beat on backdoors. We got beat on drives to the basket by Texas A&M repeatedly. Agee and Hill particularly were able to score in the paint. They were able to drive the ball to the basket and finish or they were able to draw fouls and get to the free throw line. I didn't think Alabama's defense was stellar. It was mediocre. It got the job done, but I saw us getting beat too many times, particularly on those back doors where we overplayed the guy and got beat backdoor and leading to easy baskets for Texas A&M. Just tough to see. So Alabama needs now to put together a winning streak so we can get a better seeding in the NCAA tournament. Right now, probably a 5 or 6 seed, but we've got to stack wins. We got to figure out a way to go to Auburn and win on Saturday. We've got to figure out a way to go. We got 9 games left to go 6-3 or 7-2 in that 9-game stretch. Which if we can win at least 6, that gets us to 11 wins in the SEC. If we can go 7-2, that gets us to 12 wins. It's going to be a tall order considering we only went 5-4 in the first half of the SEC season, but that's what we need to do. If we only end up 10-8 or 9-9 in the SEC, then we're going to have a low seeding. We'll be an 8, a 9, 10 seed. We don't want to be there. We need to get a 3 seed, a 4 seed. I think a 2 seed's not going to happen, but we need to get a 3, 4 seed, 5 seed at worst, figure out a way to do that. And that means we got to keep getting wins. So the other thing, Alabama needs to get their players healthy. It'd be nice to have Kite and Bristow back. We've just got to get the squad fully healthy and ready to go down this stretch run so that we can do what we need to do in these games and figure out ways to win these close games and not lose them. And we also need to get Bristow healthy, Taylor Balboa, who also didn't play in this game, get those guys healthy because we need the length, we need the size, we need the bodies against these teams with bigs like Florida, like Tennessee, or we're going to struggle. And it's really been teams that have strong, big play and have big men, good post play that have really given Alabama struggles this year. And if you look at all of our losses, other than the Vanderbilt loss, where we were really down players, it was teams that had strong interior play that gave us problems and caused the losses. All right. I'll still say this. There's no great team in the SEC. Texas A&M was at the top of the standings. We beat them. They're not a great team, but there's a lot of really good teams in the SEC. Texas A&M is good. Florida's good. Vanderbilt's good. Tennessee's good. Who we play on Saturday, Auburn, they're good. There's a lot of good teams in the SEC. Alabama needs to stand up, fight, and be one of those top 5 teams in the SEC. And that means going 6-3 or 7-2 over this 9-game stretch, and then play themselves into a 3 seed or a 4 seed into the tournament. Up next, Alabama goes to Auburn and plays at Auburn on Saturday. And that Saturday, February 7th, prior to Super Bowl Sunday. That'll be a tough test for Alabama. We need to get that win if we can. We need to get a good road win. We need to improve our seeding for the tournament. So that's a tall order. It's going to be a tough place to play, but that's where we are. All right, that's it for now. Thank you for listening. Subscribe, follow, like, hit the notify button, hit the notify bell wherever you access the podcast, wherever you stream us. If you stream us on audio platforms or if you watch us on the YouTube channel, God bless and roll Tide.